Demons linked to natural phenomena, storms, volcanoes. When the earth trembles, the sky darkens and rays cut the horizon. Many see the uncontrollable fury of nature. But in ancient cultures, these events were not just natural phenomena. They were manifestations of dark and powerful entities. Demons who incarnated chaos and destruction, inspiring respect and fear. In this video, you will meet some of the most intriguing demons associated with storms, volcanoes, and other natural disasters, and understand how these myths have shaped cultures around the world. Part 1. Demons of the Storms. The fury of the heavens has always been one of the most feared events by humanity. Sky-piercing lightning, deafening thunder, and devastating winds have often been associated with supernatural entities. In Sumerian mythology, Pazuzu is one of the most famous wind demons, although remembered as an evil spirit. His story is more complex. Pazuzu was a king of evil winds, responsible for droughts, sandstorms, and diseases. But he was also invoked to ward off the presence of other demons and protect pregnant women and children. This paradox of destruction and protection has made him an ambiguous and feared figure. In Japan, the Rai-Jin, although not a demon in the Western sense, is a deity associated with thunder and destruction. Often represented with drums that sound thunder, he is accompanied by Fujin, the god of the wind. These spirits caused storms that could devastate villages, but they were also seen as essential to bring the necessary rain for crops. A clear demonstration that the destructive power of nature also brought fertility and renewal. Even in Western culture, the demonic figure associated with storms appears. In Christian demonology, demons like Baal, described in the Pseudomonarchia Demonum Grimoire, is known to command thunder and lightning, being a prince of hell able to manipulate storms at will. These beings reflect an ancient understanding of the unforgiving power of nature, which destroys without warning and nourishes without mercy. The association with demons reinforced the idea that natural elements were not neutral, but carried an intention, a temperament. Part 2. Demons of the volcanoes and the fire. Fire is a symbol of destruction and creation, of vital heat and relentless annihilation. In volcanic regions, where the earth literally explodes into fire and lava, it is no surprise that demonic myths have arisen to explain such destructive force. In Hawaii, the goddess Pele is the embodiment of volcanoes and fire. Although not a demon in the Western sense, she is feared and revered as an unpredictable entity. Their outbursts of fury create new lands, but destroy everything in their path. The Hawaiian tradition says that disrespecting nature or taking volcanic stones without permission brings the wrath of Pele, who curses the offenders. Stories of bad luck involving tourists who took pieces of lava and needed to return them still circulate today, reinforcing the respect for natural forces. In Greco-Roman mythology, the god Hephaestus, or Vulcan for the Romans, controlled fire and volcanoes by forging weapons and divine artifacts. In some interpretations, earthquakes and eruptions were seen as manifestations of their fury or demonic creatures inhabiting the underworld. More terrifying is a figure of Surtr, the fire giant from Norse mythology. During the Ragnarok, the end of time, he burns the world with his flaming sword. Although not a demon in the strict sense, Surtr symbolizes inevitable and apocalyptic destruction, an unstoppable force that consumes even the gods themselves. These beings show how fire and volcanoes evoke the duality of creation and destruction. In an instant, the fire warms and gives life. In the next, it consumes everything without leaving a trace. Therefore, these demons and entities always carried a weight of respect and fear. Part 3. Demons of earthquakes and natural disasters. When the earth moves under your feet, fear is visceral. Earthquakes have always been seen as signs of divine wrath or manifestations of dark forces. In various cultures, demonic entities or furious gods were held responsible for these devastating tremors. In Japan, the figure of Namazu, a gigantic underground catfish, is one of the most famous examples. Legend has it that Namazu lives under the earth, and when he struggles, causes earthquakes. He is contained by Kashima, a god who keeps him under control with a sacred stone. But when Kashima relaxes or is distracted, Namazu frees himself, causing violent tremors. During the Edo period, after a major earthquake in 1855, the image of Namazu became a popular symbol, even in satirical images that criticize the government. In indigenous mythology of the peoples of Central America, such as the Mayans and Aztecs, natural disasters were seen as punishments or as inevitable cycles that marked the end of an era. The Aztec myth of Zapacli, a monstrous terrestrial and aquatic creature, represents primordial chaos. To create the world, the gods sacrifice her, but pieces of her body still carry a destructive power. Natural disasters were seen as a reminder that this force was never fully tamed. Even in medieval Christianity, earthquakes were interpreted as signs of the apocalypse or divine punishments. Demons were often associated with these events, instigating fear and repentance in the faithful. The idea that the underground evil could reach the surface reinforced belief in a literal hell under the feet of sinners. These demons and creatures symbolize the human fear in front of the unpredictability of natural disasters. In a world where science did not yet fully explain these phenomena, associating earthquakes with evil forces was a way to make sense of chaos and reinforce cultural and spiritual norms. Part 4. Demons of the Waters and the Sea. The waters are both a source of life and a symbol of destruction. The sea, with its mysterious depths and violent storms, has always inspired fear and respect. In several cultures, the aquatic forces were associated with evil or capricious entities, capable of sinking ships and swallowing entire villages. In Norse mythology, Jormungand, the giant sea serpent known as the Midgard serpent, circles the world and is one of Loki's children. Although not a demon in the strict sense, it poses a constant threat. During the Ragnarok, the end of time, it emerges in the waters, causing tsunamis and poisoning the sky. The image of a destructive aquatic monster reflects the Norse fear for uncontrollable and unpredictable seas. In the Caribbean, the figure of Mama Diallo or Mama Diallo is an aquatic spirit that haunts rivers and deep waters. She is a woman with a serpentine body and, according to legend, attracts curious men to death. This legend has roots in African folklore, brought by the enslaved, and reflects the idea that unknown waters hold fatal dangers. Another intriguing example is the Iku Turso from Finnish mythology, described as a malevolent sea monster. It was believed to bring destruction and disgrace, symbolizing the danger of the seas and deep waters. In some versions, it is associated with death and darkness, becoming a personification of the hidden threats beneath the surface. In Christian demonology, Leviathan is often portrayed as a colossal and powerful sea demon, symbol of pride and one of the 7 princes of hell. His image is confused with that of an aquatic monster that devours souls and causes storms. The description of Leviathan evokes the idea that deep and uncontrollable evil lurks in the most unexplored and terrifying places. These aquatic entities reflect a universal fear for the seas and rivers, places where life and death meet, and where man is always vulnerable. The demons and creatures associated with water emphasize the danger and unpredictability of the natural environment, as well as reinforcing the importance of respect and prudence in the face of aquatic mysteries. Part 5. Demons of the Winds and the Air. The wind can be a gentle breeze that relieves heat or a gale that destroys everything in its path. In many cultures, the air carried messages from the gods or dark omens, and violent winds were often associated with demonic forces. In Persian mythology, Eshma is a demon of wind and fury. His name means violence or anger, and he is one of the devas, evil entities that torment humanity. Eshma is responsible for inciting conflict and spreading chaos, symbolizing the unpredictability and destruction of stormy winds. It represents an invisible and constant danger, a reminder that destruction can come without warning. In Arabic folklore, jinns known as Ifrit and Merid are often associated with sandstorms and devastating winds. These spiritual beings, made of smoke-free fire, inhabit deserts and inhospitable places, attacking travelers and spreading confusion. The idea that a merciless wind carries an evil spirit reinforces the notion that nature itself may have hostile intentions. The Japanese culture also brings an intriguing figure. The Kamaitashi, a wind-cutting spirit, often portrayed as a demonic weasel. It is said that the Kamaitashi appears during storms, injuring people with sharp cuts before disappearing. Although not a demon in the Christian sense, this entity is an embodiment of the dangers hidden in the gusts of wind. In the Christian tradition, the wind is often mentioned as a vehicle of divine judgment or demonic power. Wind demons, mentioned in ancient grimoires, could be invoked or controlled by wizards and sorcerers to spread destruction or bring sudden changes. These figures reinforce the idea that air, although invisible, carries powerful and uncontrollable forces. These demons connected to the wind and air reflect human fear of what cannot be seen or controlled. The wind, capable of whispering or howling, was seen as a supernatural manifestation, a constant reminder that invisible forces shape our destiny. Part 6. The Symbology of Natural Demons. The presence of demons associated with natural phenomena in various cultures around the world reveals a fascinating pattern: the human attempt to explain the uncontrollable. In ancient times, without the scientific knowledge that we have today, associating the fury of nature with evil or spiritual forces helped to give meaning to chaos and reinforce social and religious norms. These demons were often not exclusively evil. In several cultures, creatures considered destructive also brought benefits or protected men when respected. Pazuzu, the Sumerian demon of the winds, is a classic example of this duality. Although it caused disease and sandstorms, it was invoked to ward off Lamashtu, an even more dangerous spirit that threatened mothers and children. This concept of a necessary evil showed that the same power that destroyed could also protect. In addition, the fear of natural phenomena shaped behaviors and traditions. Myths about aquatic spirits prevented reckless people from approaching dangerous rivers, while stories about volcano demons reinforced respect for menacing mountains. Many of these legends were mechanisms of preservation, warnings disguised as myths. Another interesting point is how the perception of natural demons has changed over time. With the advancement of science and understanding of natural phenomena, the need to personify these forces has diminished. But the fascination remains. Movies, books, and fantasy games still explore the idea of natural forces represented by demonic creatures such as ifrits, leviathans, and elemental spirits. The figure of the natural demon also reveals a lot about the relationship of a human being with fear, transforming the unknown into a tangible being with intentions and desires was a way to deal with the inevitable. Facing a demon is a direct challenge. Facing the impersonal chaos of nature, however, is a constant reminder of our vulnerability. The demons linked to natural phenomena show how humanity has always sought answers to the unknown and tried to understand the destruction and chaos around them. These beings were not only symbols of fear, but also representations of inevitable forces that needed to be respected and sometimes appeased. Even today, when we understand scientific processes behind earthquakes, storms, volcanoes, and tsunamis, the idea of these supernatural entities still arouses fascination. In movies, books, and games, demons and elemental spirits continue to symbolize the indomitable power of nature and primal fear of what we cannot control. This mixture of terror and respect shows something profound. Our relationship with nature is, and always will be, a dance between understanding and mystery. After all, even if science explains it, the emotional impact of a violent storm or an erupting volcano continues to remind us that forces far beyond us shape the world in which we live. If you like this video, share your favorite stories or legends about demons and natural phenomena in the comments. And don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel for more fascinating videos like this one. See you next time.